Hey, this is Tuck Talk, Tuck Talk, Tuck Talk. This is Tuck Talk. We're gonna be talking about polygamy. Should polygamy be the new standard of modern day relationships? And also, if you had the opportunity, would you entertain a polygamous relationship? I'm gonna get into all this and more on this week's edition of the Tuck Talk podcast. Keep it locked. Hey, what's good, everyone? Welcome to episode 29 of the Tuck Talk podcast. I go by the name of Della Fashionista, managing director here at True Upper Culture Magazine. And alongside me is on this panel, we got my guy, Sean Henry, aka the Black Dawn. Tell what's going on, bro.
What's up, y'all? Sean here. It's been a minute, but looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. We also have my guy from Out of Bounds podcast, the man in the middle himself, Mr. Donnie. Do not call me Donovan Wilkins. What's going on, brother?
Yo, what's up, man? Feeling good, feeling great.
Yes. And last but certainly not least, we have my friend of 10 years, the lovely Miss Akeisha Eliza Bowles. How you doing, young lady?
Hello. Nice to meet everyone for having me.
Still muted.
Yes. And we also have a co-star if he wants to get in this. Another friend of mine, Shaquem Brown. What's
Hello.
going on, bro? All right, so yes, before we, as tradition here within Talk Talk, before we get to any topic, we always like to do a mental check-in. So that's basically because I'm a firm believer that the best ability is your mental health. Without that, you can't really do much. So we're gonna get to it and see how everybody's feeling this week. So as always, with the mental check-in, here's our rating scale. 1 means I want to die. 2 means my life is pointless. 3 means nothing matters. 4 means my life sucks right now. 5 means it's whatever. 6 means I'm content. 7 means I'm grateful. 8 means I'm in a good place. I guess you could say 7, 8 is kind of like the same thing. I might have to fix that. 9 means I'm excited about life, and 10 means life couldn't be better. So I presented to you guys. How's everybody feeling on the scale of 1 to 10? Start one at a time. So who wants to go first on that?
You want to take the lead?
Sure. I'm gonna say I'm currently still sitting at about I think the last time we talked, I said I was sitting at like a 9-ish, 10. That's still kind of very much going on. I'm still very much kind of like there's a lot of just things going on around me lately with like different avenues of like possible work opening up, different ventures within like I guess I don't know, life adventures, trying out different new things. So I'm sitting at a 9 right now. I'm very optimistic about how things are heading.
That's awesome, awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Radio Donnie, how you feeling?
I'm not feeling good, man.
I think I know why.
Yeah, I'm gonna say whatever right now. Because took myself to a baseball game yesterday. Went with a couple of friends and we lost. We were up big, but like Philly fashion, we lost.
Wait, hold on. Talk about. You be a tummy. We gonna talk Philly sports, and the first thing you gonna talk about is the Philadelphia Phillies, a baseball team, rather than the basketball team that you've been hyping up for the past week.
Whoa! First of all, these colors don't run, so it doesn't matter. Shout out to my Phillies. At least we won one in the last 20 years. So yeah, it was good until like we started getting our asses kicked, and then the Sixers, we dropped our game yesterday. Now we're 3-1, but we're coming back home tomorrow. We're gonna cap it off.
Okay, so you're confident in that?
Yeah, 100%. Yep,
100%. All right, and last but certainly not least, we got the lovely Eliza Bowles. How you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, sweetheart?
I'm feeling about a 9. I'm excited about life because so yesterday we had our first guest appearance, which was really interesting. And we got to meet new people and like really like network and everything. And it's really exciting. So I'm excited for what's ahead.
Okay. For all the people that may not know, because we did speak about this a bit off camera, what do you mean in regards to the event that you went to yesterday? Like, can you provide a bit more details in regards to that?
With the pageant?
Yes.
So the pageant is just consisted of different West Indian cultures and countries. Like I'm representing Miss Montserrat. There's going to be Miss St. Vincent, Grenada. Who else? I'm forgetting. who else right now? Trinidad and Tobago and
Yes. Dominican Republic.
and Dominican Republic, yeah. So it's just consistent of different West Indian countries. And yeah, we're all coming together to compete for the title, basically. And it's going to be really fun. It's going to consist of different fashions, carnival wear, and yeah, and we're just coming together to really just compete in this pageant.
That's dope. That's dope. And we already know who's gonna win that. We already know who's gonna win that. So the competition don't matter,
Or
right? Yeah. But for all of our New Yorkers out there, let everybody know you gotta say when is this pageant, and also another thing too, can people attend the pageant? Like, are tickets available and all that?
yeah, are available. I can definitely send you the link because it's on USA Caribbean Body on Instagram.
Okay.
So you can like post that on your story and stuff like that.
Got you. I got you. As for me, I'm also excited about life. Um, Last time that we was here, I mentioned in regards to the fact that your boy started up his own company, Ground Up Media Productions, and right now I'm proud to say that I'm officially a business owner. I'm a
Well,
CEO in my own right, and right now, it's like this past January, Sean knows because he was there. We shot the pilot for Vibe, so we're in the process of putting shopping that out there. So got a lot of good feedback so far. Sending out to some network execs. One prominent network exec got back to me. I don't want to spill the details just yet because nothing is
Oh
final.
yeah, you're gonna have to give me that shit off camera, bro.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just we just gonna manifest, nothing but positivity and greatness because we're on our way. We're well on our way, So look out for that, and hopefully, God's will be sharing the details on that very soon with that network. So let's just all cross our fingers. But we're not here to talk about Ground Up Media Productions. We're not here to talk about pilots. We're not really necessarily here to talk about the Philadelphia Phillies, the 76ers, all that other stuff. What we're here to talk about today is polygamy.
mhm.
So I present this question to you guys here. Sean, what's going on?
I'm sorry.
It's like
The way
Sean
you
already know where
say
this is going.
the way you say polygamy, I just like the SpongeBob, like polygamy.
It's like Sean, he already know where this is going. So I presented to you guys and you, madam. Should polygamy be the new norm in modern day relationships?
Mm. Okay, I want to go first. So,
Please.
to be honest, it really depends on the person and how they feel about their relationship in general. So, if you're in a relationship and you just want to be with one person, be monogamous with one person, then do that. You want all their love, all their attention, and whatnot. But what if, like, for example, the man wants to go off and meet whatever? Does that mean that the woman has to be in a polygamous relationship because he wants to go out and find other women and be with other women? No, like you can't like force somebody to be in a polygamous relationship. And I kind of feel like in this day and age, the reason that polygamy is so big is because people are giving an excuse to kind of cheat in a way. So if he's like, oh, I want to like see other women, I want other women in our circle, in our love circle, then he gets to do that in a polygamous relationship.
Okay, that's a good point. I see where you're going with this, but that's basically assuming that the whole polygamous thing is just something that was just blindside the one. Like, what if this something that was communicated beforehand? You know what I mean? Like, does that kind of change your perspective a bit?
With what?
Like, would it change your perspective if the man basically like, like I'm kind of looking for like a polygamous type of relationship, but I truly have feelings for you. I care about you, but I also want to see what else is out there. Like, what if that was communicated ahead of time, rather like you said, like, oh, like you were just like the woman was just cheating on or whatnot. Like, what if the man was just upfront about his expectations from the jump? Does that change things a bit?
Yeah, that does change things a bit because now it gives her choice from the beginning because the feelings aren't there just as yet. And she has the choice whether or not to be in that relationship or not. But now the man can't just go out willy-nilly and just think, oh, okay, I'm dating 2 or 3 other women. He has to allow her to also date men, 2 or 3 other men as well, because poly one side, right? And that's also a problem.
Mm, you see, I was with you until the part of like, okay, like the woman, like why can't she just? Then that's an open relationship. It's not necessarily a polygamous relationship. There's a difference between the two.
So the man only gets to date multiple women, and while the woman has to stay with that one man.
So I feel like a lot of like kind of like what you brought up just now. A lot of people, not saying confuse the two. A lot of the reasoning for people saying like polygamy or whatever, or like endorsing it, becomes more of the idea of the correlation with, I think, open relationships rather than what a polygamous relationship actually technically is. Like you hear polygamous relationships, it'll be like kind of like maybe like a good party of what, party of three is
Mhm.
usually polygamy. Part
Yeah.
is like
Right.
usually like a three party or whatever, stuff like that. What a lot of people kind of reference polygamy for, at least in this modern day, or what I've noticed, especially like not against nothing against my own species, when it comes to like dudes, a lot of dudes will kind of use it in the sense of like, oh, that means I could get this girl and I could get
Yeah.
this girl, and it becomes less about like a relationship than it becomes about being able to, excuse my French, freak whoever you want to freak whenever. So like those kind of things get like combined a lot, whereas like polygamy and open relationships start to mesh when they're actually not.
Mm.
Hmm.
And another thing too, Kiki, what if it was like okay, like a woman, right? She's in a relationship with a dude, and let's say like I'm purposely about to say that. Let's say like it's a shift in power. Like basically the woman she's with a guy, but she decides okay, like I also want to entertain some other dudes on the side.
Right.
That's kind like that's kind of what polygamy, polygamous relationship would be. It does not necessarily have to be like, oh, the man has multiple women. Like, and there's some polygamous relationships where the woman has multiple guys. Is that okay in your eyes?
You're asking them or you asking me?
I'm asking you.
Oh, you're asking me.
Yeah.
Um, no, I mean, like I said, it depends on the type of relationship you want out of with the person.
Okay.
Yes, if a man is like, okay, I want to date multiple women, or like if a woman was to come up to a man and say, hey, like I'm not really a monogamous person, like
Right.
I date around and be in relationships, like would you still be with me knowing this, knowing that I'm being intimate with other men and doing all this, then he also has the choice. But there is, because you mentioned that people confuse the two between poly and open relationship, there's also you can be poly and be in like an open really, it's poly open, like if you're open in a poly relationship, so it does change
Mhm.
Okay.
because um because everyone kind of like knows about each other in a poly relationship. Like nothing is hidden in a poly type relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that nothing is hidden. Because you initially started by saying, okay, like almost as if like the man just decides that he just wants to have another woman, like the woman did not know. Like basically, like in an ideal perfect world, all that would be communicated ahead of time. And I
Mhm.
actually have another follow-up question regards like how would you partake, like would you or would you not partake in a polygamous relationship? But save your answer for later on because right now I want to get Donnie to chime in because Donnie, you also had a lot to say about this topic before we got on camera. So what are your thoughts? So
Yeah. I'm just gonna start by saying I don't believe in one love or one true love. I think that shit is bogus. And I think that's just another form of people trying to conform and like make sure they don't end up dying alone. Um,
Hmm.
I do think that we are social creatures. I think that's out of habit, and I do think social norms play a huge part in how we view and shape the world. I don't think we started out as being just in one relationship. Um, during the cave times and prehistoric era and all that stuff, we were seen as like more of a group thing. Like everybody knew each other, everybody had sex with each other and stuff like that. And
Like the Greeks.
as
So like an orgy.
Like the Greeks.
Yeah, basically you can call it that, but it's not what it is now. But like everybody was bound together and not just one and one. But as time went on and stuff like that, and social norms played a part, people start to see it as something negative. Like if you were to bring that up to your significant other, they would look at you as, oh, that's toxic. Like you want to like run the streets and stuff like that. So it's, I don't know. Like, do you guys believe in like just one person for the rest of your lives? Like out of 7, how many people we have on the 8 billion? Out of 8 billion people, you believe that you found that one.
But what does the science say though? Because are there more women on this earth than men?
Yeah, I think it's 52% women, I believe.
Yeah. So there's a woman for every. So there's a woman for every man, but there's not a man for every woman.
So I want to ask you guys, what is the end goal? What do you want out of being in a polygamous relationship? Is it because of right now? It's just, it's exciting to be with multiple women, or do you see an end goal with action? What if both of them want to marry, or what if one of them wants to marry? You're in love with both of them. How do you even get that together? I understand in poly relationships you can be married and whatnot, but what if someone says, oh, I don't want to be in the poly anymore. I don't want to be in this triad. I just want you. I want a relationship.
Like, how do you bring that up? Yeah.
Yeah. And they just want to get married to you. They just want to have kids with you, Like,
I mean,
the goal really matters in polygamous relationship. It becomes very...
That is a great question. That's a great question. But I want to circle back with like one keyword that you said there, love. Because some people, they just consume that the whole aspect of polygamy is because like you just want to have sex with multiple women. That's not necessarily the case. Chances are, like you're in a polygamous relationship, it's because you have feelings for multiple women, so to speak. So chances are, and you also have to look to this as well. It's not so much about sex; it's about the value that woman brings to the table. Like for instance, you might meet a woman that's very nurturing, so you want to keep her around. You might meet another woman that's very supportive of your goals and your ambitions. Like maybe someone that you can go into business with. Like although like they're not in a relationship anymore, but it's kind of like the relationship that The Rock has with his ex-wife. Even though they're not together, but they still maintain that bond because they work together on certain businesses. So it's like apply that aspect to like a polygamous relationship. Yeah, one partner who's like the very nurturing, the sweet kind of like very feminine. The other one that's also like very business savvy, someone that kind of like pushes the man to like pursue his fullest capabilities, all his goals, all his dreams, all his aspirations as a businessman. So that's kind of what it is for the most part, and you could end up developing feelings for both, and it'd be equal. Just so that they each bring something different to the table. Because for the most part, what I feel is very unhealthy is for the fact that what is like a man and a woman, a man just decide, I don't want to be with this woman anymore because of various reasons. Maybe she's not a good cook, maybe she sucks in bed, or maybe she's not emotionally available. Well, if she's not emotionally available, then you shouldn't be in a relationship with her to begin with. But I digress. But the same could go from a woman. Like, like the woman might think that the guy is so sweet, like, oh, like he supports me financially, he protects me, but maybe he lacks in the bedroom, so to speak. So I need some spice. What typically happens is you break up with that guy to get to the other one. But what if there's a way that you can basically incorporate all of them together? Like, you know what? Well, I clearly have feelings for you. I love you, but you know what? Maybe you're not necessarily enough. I need more. Is that necessarily a bad thing? But seeking that somebody else rather than just like, I'm gonna break up with you and get to somebody else.
Well,
I'm just an advocate. I'm just asking the questions.
Well, I mean, I don't believe in marriage. Like I just don't believe in the idea of like that Like I just think it's stupid. So because I've been in a poly relationship before, and it was more so I'm a person who seeks knowledge and culture and the understanding of others and how things works. So if being in like that relationships allows me to soak more of that in, I think that's really what I look for. Like if I'm in like a group relationship like that or something like that.
Yeah. And but first of all, before I even go to my next point, like let's circle back. Like you said you don't believe in marriage per se. Why, Donnie? What's wrong with marriage?
I just don't believe in the idea of making this sacred or sacrificial, you can call it, vow to stay together with one person for eternity. Humans change, we're still evolving. I don't know how I'm going to feel about you 10 years down the line.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to commit myself to something like that.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm always upfront about it. Like I always tell people, look, I'm not looking for a marriage or a commitment like that.
Yeah, you're
It's
not. I get it. You're here for a fun time, not a long time.
not even fun time. Like it's because the way, yeah, if I was to say, yeah, I'm looking for a fun time, it's then there comes into play that social construct of, oh, he's toxic. No, it's just I'm just looking to gain knowledge across various cultures. It's also one of the reasons why I usually date outside my race. I'm looking to assume everybody else's
He's
culture.
That was just a
And that just
It
doesn't
makes
mean like
sense.
white people or stuff like that. It's just I already know everything I need to know about my race, my history, and stuff like that. I'm looking to learn about other people's.
Interesting. So, Keisha, you kind of raised your eyebrows when he said that. What are your thoughts on what Mr. Donovan just said?
um I mean, no, it's good that, explore different races and cultures and whatnot. No, I think that's a good thing. I just think that we as a culture, as a black culture, should keep it within our culture to make our culture strong.
Oh, okay, all right. I get that because I've had that conversation before with other people, and
Choose your words carefully, Donnie.
yeah.
Cancel.
Yeah. It's like I totally get what you're saying. When people use the term "keep it in your culture," it rubs me the wrong way because it seems like that's just another way of saying because you could take what you say and you can also apply it to like the Nazis' ideologies and theories of how they wanted to like keep it within their own culture. You get what I'm saying? Even though it's like totally different, but it's like the wording. It's like,
It's
hey,
totally
like
different.
let's keep it in our culture. No, because I've been in like Twitter spaces where people are like they're the same as like what they're saying with the KKK and the Nazis and stuff like that. So it's like I just don't like that wording, like keep it within our own culture. Like it's I
But
want
you
to explore and
but you
yeah.
make it seem as if black culture is one size fits all. There's various aspects of black culture. There's
No,
some that you might be
exactly.
less
That's
with.
what I'm saying. Yeah. So the wording just keep it within your culture. It's like I'm going to date who I want to date. And I don't feel like okay, all right. I'm gonna date who I want to date, and I don't feel like I have to prove my blackness or prove how down I am with the culture by dating within my race. You get what I'm saying?
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Even though you say that, but you do not even know the characters from the Proud Family, which I found very.
Do you know the characters of the Proud Family?
Of course I do.
I wasn't asking you. I was asking the lady.
Oh,
Do I know?
Yeah.
There's Penny Proud, Oscar Proud,
Uh,
the
do you
grandmother.
know, do you know her friends' names? Let's start with that.
I know DJ.
Exactly. So don't come at me, Liddell, like that's like that was in the history books, Black history or something like that.
damn, Akeisha, shit.
And just because you was watching that shit doesn't mean like I tune in every now and then, but I wasn't like I don't know their names.
All right, but
And
at least you know who Oscar Proud was. You didn't even know who Oscar Proud was.
Oscar Proud is the father.
Yeah, because she just said that.
Yeah, because the show's named The Proud Family.
But
I mean, context clues.
but
I know I dropped out of college after a year and a half, but I gained some knowledge.
But 2 episodes ago, bro, you know I'm not gonna get it.
Let's get into it. Because 2 episodes ago, you didn't ask me about the family. You asked about the friends.
Two episodes ago, you said that Dejanay's name sounded ghetto as fuck, and I said why? You said because her name ends in an A. So I asked you. So does that mean that any girl name that ends in A is ghetto? You say yeah.
No, I didn't. I was like, during that time, the writers used these unique names to make it sound like what have you. Like, it wasn't the best names.
Wow.
And I stand by that statement. All right?
Wait, did you say you heard it?
But I knew who the Proud Family was. But I mean, getting back to my point, it's like I don't feel like I have to like prove my blackness. Like I'm happy in my skin,
Okay. Let me ask you this, Donnie, because we just went far less. So I gotta bring it back somewhere.
You think?
Yeah. every fucking episode.
You do this every time.
Do you think that more cultures are more accepted of polygamous relationship rather than our own people, black people? See, I was able to spin that back.
That's a good question. I don't know. That's a good question.
Because it seems to be more acceptable in other cultures, but within our own, it's always, like this person cheated on me, and then it's like, how could you? The relationship is over. It's a dub. But other cultures, they seem to get over it. They seem to thrive within it.
I want to say I feel like that has to do with kind of like what was brought up earlier with the communication aspect and like expectations and all the stuff like that. I wouldn't say necessarily putting at as just black people in general, but like I said, when it comes to that idea of guess what polygamy is, it gets confused a lot with what open relationship would possibly be. So not saying just in our culture, but when it comes to, I guess, communication, if it's not necessarily communicated right, it's going to be that kind of, ooh, girl, he just want to be in an open relationship so he can fuck whoever he want to fuck, kind of stuff like that. Right. When it's they're not actually communicating hey, I like you and maybe I like her. I like her. And can we try to work this out?
Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible to have feelings for multiple women or multiple guys. Is it not?
It's possible, but like I said, a lot of people kind of a lot of people think more sex-wise than feelings. Let's be honest, a lot of people think more sex-wise than feelings-wise when it comes to exploring relationships and stuff like that. It's not saying it's a toxic thing about modern dating and stuff like that, but you'll hear a lot more of attraction, what they can do for not necessarily what piece you bring to me or how much I love you. It's more so what this person can do for me, what this person their sex game is how they look, all those kind of stuff like that. So you never really get the chance to be all right, so I'm actually feeling this one and I'm feeling this one and they're both feeling me. Maybe we should see how this works, or actually the communication of hey, would you be comfortable if you two were with me and I was with both of you two, kind of stuff like that. It becomes more of a, well, I want to sleep with this one and I want to sleep with this one. So polygamy. And it's like, no, that's not. That's not it.
Right,
It's definitely more than just sex, but is it necessarily wrong to have feelings for multiple women? Like we both, like we basically answered the question like, yes, it is possible, but should you feel bad about that? Is that necessarily a bad thing?
And that's the question. Like, why? So far that we know, why are humans like? Why is it seen as a bad thing in society when there's gorillas, seals, penguins, birds? Like, they all have multiple partners. But why do we as humans see it as such a bad and negative thing?
That's what's in society for you, bro.
Because we have thoughts and they don't, apparently.
Those actually that stay with their. So
I can't hear you.
I said, you hear me now?
Yeah.
I said that there are many animals actually that stay with their partner until they die.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, depends on the animal as well.
All right. I mean, I'd rather be a deer, you know.
I like.
They have multiple partners.
Deers?
It's the red hen deer.
But Keisha, do you think it's wrong to have feelings for multiple people? And let me ask you, have you ever had romantic feelings for more than one person at the same time?
We getting specific.
Okay, so I feel like it just wouldn't happen if you're really in. For me, I feel like if you're in a commitment and you're in a long-term relationship, I feel like developing feelings for other people means that you're unhappy in the current relationship that you are in now. So for me specifically, no, not in a relationship. I haven't developed feelings for another person. My relationship would have to be on the verge of breaking up or something where I'm like connecting with someone else. Then I would develop feelings for another person, but definitely in it.
Okay, all right. So let me ask this question. So if you're in a relationship with somebody, do you mentally like
check out?
Yeah, that's what I was like. Do you mentally put up a wall where you're like tunnel vision, like you only see this person? Because I don't think as humans we can do that. I think naturally we're like going to find other people attractive, and I think if we act on it, I think that's a different thing.
But it's not so much in regards to like finding someone attractive per se. You know, like like damn, this person attractive. I love to. You know, it's more so okay. Like you're spending quality time with a person of the same sex. You know, depending if you're straight or bisexual, doesn't really matter. But it's like, are you start to develop like those type of feelings rather than like, oh, I just find this person attractive per se. That's what I initially thought that you was gonna go with, because it seems what you're saying, Keisha, is like you kind of like wait until things is on the brink of like collapse in the relationship to like entertain the next person, rather than okay, like what I'm saying is this: does it necessarily have to be like when things get bad to start thinking about okay, like what, I'm interested in this person, I see some amazing qualities, maybe we can pursue that. Like, does the relationship have to be, the current one has to be on the brink of ending for you to consider that, or why not? You could just also consider that while things is going good in your relationship, but it could be better.
Right. Okay. So just to put this out there, I'm like other people can be in a polygamous relationship, but that's not me. I rather be monogamous relationship. I rather be with one person, marry one person, and have kids with them. So I'm not even really thinking about pursuing someone else while I'm in a relationship. That person is like, as you mentioned, Liddell, that person is my confidant. That person helps me in business. That person is going to be there for as someone to talk to. It's that one person. If I'm developing feelings for other people, that means that my one person might be heavily lacking in in one of those realms. You understand what I mean? So I if I'm hanging out with somebody, like for example, like we hang out with coworkers, we hang out with friends and stuff like that. If I'm developing feelings for another man, then I would slowly just decline hanging out with them too often, or just completely block those feelings, because it depends on if you pursue those feelings. You can develop closeness, I guess, and like we were talking about, attractiveness, because the person is nice, or they have things that you like, but to actively pursue those things wouldn't sit right in my relationship.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. So she basically answered the second question already, and that's whether or not you would partake in a polygamous relationship. We got your answer. Donnie, you said that you was in one previously. Would you do it again?
Yeah. I'm down to clown.
Okay, but let's use Akeisha's argument, because she basically mentioned in regards to like if she was to entertain that aspect, like end up going someplace to another partner, because like the partner that she's currently with is lacking in one particular area. I argue in favor that okay, like just because a partner is lacking in some area, that does not mean that they do not also possess some amazing qualities as well. They really like sports, Donnie, because me and you, we both watch sports. It's like having like a great 3-point shooter on your team, but you can't play defense. That does not mean that the 3-point shooter doesn't have value.
Right.
So you just add, somebody that could be like a lockdown defender on your team, right?
Like a team, all-star
Exactly. Championship team. I got you.
Exactly. So that's the kind of that's kind of like the way I see it. Like if my woman's lacking at certain, okay, I guess you can see.
So what is the question you want to ask?
You know what? Before I get
Let's
to
pivot
Donnie,
that real quick.
no, Donnie, you was rolling what you were saying. So continue. Why would you? Because you said you did before, you'll do it again. Why? What benefits did you get from it?
It allowed me to, with me in a single relationship, I tend to be a hopeless romantic. I fall in real fast, and I build up this idea and spectacle of what it could be, and I know that I usually get distracted by that while in the relationship. Being in an open relationship allows me to pursue other avenues and allow me to better present myself to other people. But I mean, like I said, it's not for everybody. I just know that I can't, like, I have commitment issues and trust issues, so maybe that stems into play when I'm in like a single relationship. Like I lack commitment and stuff like that. So maybe
You like
that's
commitment?
it. Commitment.
I thought you said commitment.
I think my mouth is dry.
Yes.
So, I would rather be in a monogamous relationship, but I mean, it's not like I'm completely opposed to being like poly dating, I guess.
Oh, so you're not opposed to it.
So that's
It's a little
different from your goal. So, I just wanted to know from you though, like, if I were to pursue a poly relationship, what are the biggest challenges that like you think I would face as a more so monogamous person?
Definitely the biggest one would be commitment, and like commitment to like the relationship as a whole, and openness, like being trusting and knowing that you have to be open to like discovery. I think that's what it is. And you have to be honest. I mean, the relationship that I was in, we were all in agreement. And the way that it ended was one of the people wanted to like be in a monogamous relationship. And I was fine with that. I was like, okay, I'll excuse myself out of the group and go about my way. No harm, no foul.
Man said like he's playing like tic-tac-toe, so I'm just gonna excuse myself.
Yeah.
But it was that easy for you? You didn't develop feelings for these people?
Well, if you know me for a while, you'll know that shit like that doesn't phase me. I'm very nonchalant about a lot of things, and I think that's one of the reasons why, like, even if I was approached with like a relationship consisting of 50 people or something like that, I would be more open to that because it's something that I've never done before, and I'm more interested in things like new things and stuff like that.
Wait, did you say 50 people?
He said 50.
Yeah. something like a cult or something like that.
Oh my God.
Not to say that I would be in a cult, but I know cults like have like up to 50 people moving and stuff like that. It's more about excitement and new adventures for me.
So basically, Donnie, he'll try anything once. That's basically what he's getting at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not that I would partake in or not partake in a polygamous relationship, but I'll say this: one of the key challenges, because you mentioned like what challenges that you may face. Donnie brought up commitment. The main thing is, let's say, for instance, your mind is made up, right? Like this is what you want. This is what you communicate ahead of time. You have to be concerned of whether or not everybody, the partners involved, if they're gonna change their mind. And one of the main reasons why they could change their mind is because everybody's not feeling equally valued per se.
Yeah,
honesty. So you basically have to devote 100% of yourself with all your partners. It has to be equal. So I remember when Shaquem, when he was on screen, he basically said that he could barely handle like one woman, right? So imagine deal with multiple. So it was good, bro. So I was like, I could see it from that perspective, because like obviously like you supposed to have like a lot of things on your plate, like whether it's not, it could be like school, it could be like a job or career, whatever case may be. It could be kind of hard just to deal with one woman considering the fact. So imagine multiple. So I think it truly depends on the man's lifestyle or the woman's lifestyle, because women can also have like multiple partners as well. It's not just exclusive to men. I feel like that's what some people just get misconstrued. They feel like, okay, like, oh, it's just men that just want multiple. Well, no, women can have multiple partners as well.
That's that social construct I was.
Is it more taboo? Absolutely, which raised that initial question. Should it be more culturally accepted in today's society, considering the fact how most relationships end nowadays due to cheating, infidelity? Like, what if that man or that woman's doing everything else right in the relationship? Is it worth ending it because of infidelity?
Doesn't 50% of divorce marriages end in divorce or something like that?
I don't know the exact number, so I cannot confirm or deny, but it could be. But infidelity could be one of the leading reasons as to why.
Actually, the main cause to divorce in marriages is financial.
Yeah, that's
financial.
Yeah. But I would say that should it be normally accepted? I'm not sure. I don't think society's ready for that yet, because I feel like I don't know. Even though like me being an adult today, I feel like a lot of adults are irresponsible and they can't handle what it actually means to be in a polygamous relationship. Like I often find like adults today to be like almost like grown kids. Communication is a big aspect, which a lot of adults don't do. Honesty is a big aspect. Financial stability is a big aspect. And I feel like as long as the person get themselves together and know what they want out of life, then they can pursue a polygamous relationship. But then you have like these half-ass people with no job, no goals, no nothing about them, trying to get in polygamous relationship. Feel me? men and women alike too. You know.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
I definitely get where he's coming from with that because you can't be just a regular dude, just like making little to no money, just like like I want this one, I want that woman to think that okay, everybody's
Yeah.
just supposed to
Like
just you
my
gotta be
Right,
realistic.
yeah.
that choice.
So it's like your lifestyle definitely comes into play, whether as a man or as a woman, because
Mhm.
finance, and I'm glad that you mentioned about finance because that truly plays a major factor,
Yeah. Especially
because
in the man.
women, not trying to say that most women are gold diggers, that's not what I'm saying at all, but women are hardwired to want a man that's able to protect and provide, right?
Right.
And you need resources for that, financial resources. So it's more likely that a woman would, I guess, fall in line. And I hate to use that word, but that's the only phrase I could come up with at the moment. More when to fall in line with a man that has resources, has money, rather than a dude that's just like struggling in New York City in an apartment, with roommates. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you have to temper your expectations a little bit.
Right. I
Yeah,
agree.
so about 90% of people in Western culture is married by 50. In the United States, about 50% of married couples divorce. The second highest divorce rate in the world.
So who's the first?
I don't know. Good question.
Mhm.
We have
For
a
us to
second.
be 6?
Yeah. Oh, we was on top.
Right, yeah.
All right,
Dang.
Rich Sean, let me give you a perspective before we get up out of here. Like, would you partake in a polygamous relationship
You to
if you
try.
had the means?
Okay. So I make this joke. I make this joke often enough, like where my friends and stuff like that. But it's like I always say, like, I'm just like the only way that I'd get into a polygamous relationship, it probably have to be like a couple. So basically, like, a guy and a girl, whatever. Because basically, as a bisexual man, that would basically mean a girlfriend and a boyfriend, you know.
Mhm.
But I do like I don't think I would personally actually get into one simply because I know I guess what kind of person I am. I'm very much a feelings kind of person. I know that let's say if my feelings are directed in one way more than the other, then it'll be either jealousy kind of issues that I might have to deal with. It might be like, not tailoring my attention enough to like, both parties. Kind of like you said, like, it becomes the kind of commitment of like what are you providing in the relationship. So it's like that kind of energy of
Mhm.
like well, if I like this person more than I like this person, then it's gonna seem weird if I'm always with this person more than this person. You got to do it equally. But what if I don't like the other person in the situation? So I'd probably rather do like a monogamous relationship because then I at least know that I'm with the person that I'm choosing to be with. Like like the feelings aspect are there. Like I'm with this person because I generally want to be with them. They have most of my time. They have most of my attention. Rather than it being like I said, yeah, I'm feeling guy, but I'm not feeling girl, or I'm feeling girl, but I'm not feeling guy. Like like those kind of scenarios popping up. I'd rather just not get into it.
But Sean, isn't that like the conversation that you had before you start that
True. That is
throuple?
that is very much the conversation that I guess I would get into beforehand. So I would say I'm not. I would say I'm not closed off to the idea, but knowing, I guess, who I am as a person, it would kind of like take more of a genuine. Oh, this is a couple that I wouldn't mind being a part of. Like rather than
Yeah.
it like just me finding like one of them more interest, like being more interested in one of them than the other person. It would have to be a genuine balance for me to actually get into it.
Right.
I have a question for those in favor of polygamy and also a question for those in favor of monogamy. But I'm gonna go with the monogamy question first. For you, Akeisha and you, Sean, because y'all both basically said, okay, y'all be more in favor of a monogamous relationship.
Mhm.
But let's say, for instance, that partner does not have all of your qualities, right? Everything that you need, all the great attributes. Would you break up with that person just to get with one that does, or would you just, say, I guess I could, either he lacks or she lacks in this area, he person more than makes up in the other. I could look past the other thing because I'm truly care and I'm invested in this person. Like, what is it for you guys?
I feel that I would break up with that person if
You
I'm not,
want to go ahead.
yeah, if I'm not getting the things that I need from him, like a provider, and if he maybe is not really good at communicating, and I just feel like a lot of my needs aren't met, then how are we going to be happy in the relationship? So I
Okay,
would and go to someone else. Yeah.
okay, but does he bring any great? Does he bring any qualities that you might want to keep? Like, is it all the way bad, or is there some positives to this person?
That's a good point, because he could be a very like nice guy and family oriented, good with kids. And
Very
that's a
important qualities.
yeah, very important quality. But honestly, I'm not gonna be in a relationship I'm not happy in. So I would have to, yeah, I would have to go somewhere.
Okay, okay. Because I'm about to say, like, if this person makes up for other areas, that's where the whole polygamy come in at. Because okay, well, it lacks there, but I could find somebody else that more than makes up for it. Let's see, like, okay, God, like, you see what's going on. Either you could measure up, or like, you could just be like, I guess, like another side option in this
You
relationship.
know what would
That's where
happen?
it comes in.
That I would fall in love with fall out of love with the first guy and fall in love with the second.
Damn. Damn.
That sounds damn. Fall out of love sounds crazy. But like, you know what, God, you're not doing it for me. I'm not gonna fall. I'm not gonna be in love with you no more. Like, let me work my way out of this relationship. Well, I get it, but same question goes for you, Sean.
I'd say I'm like somewhere on like the 50-50 line. It's like I'd probably, the way I see it, at least like if there are the qualities that I really like about a person, whatever, if it's stuff that they're like lacking and it's stuff that can't, let's say, that can be actually worked on, maybe like, I'll actually like, I'll stay, whatever. If I actually genuinely have feelings for this person, I'll stay there, I'll go through it. Because at the end of the day, I'll say, like, not in like cocky, confident, whatever, stuff like that, but it's just like at the end of the day, I'm not necessarily looking for anything too much from the person, rather than like, all right, I generally like you, I generally have like feelings for you, stuff like that. You bring this, you bring that to the table, but at the end of the day, I know I got me, otherwise I got me regardless. So it's like, if you're lacking in something that can actually be changed, we could work on it, we could go through it. But otherwise, kind of like what she said, it's like I'd probably end up falling for the other person rather than being with the person that I was with. It's just like, it's like if they have qualities that the person is lacking in their true problem qualities, then I'm just gonna move on. like I'm just gonna like move on to the next person. I'm not gonna like, all right, I want you and I want you. We're gonna work this out like, for the three. It's just like yeah, I'd rather be over here than over there now. like, so that's me being honest though.
The two main reasons also why people stay in relationships that they're not happy in is because of financial and because of children. Those are the most two things that people stay in a relationship that for years that they're not happy in. So there's two.
But for you, Akisha, for you to get out of the relationship to move on to the next, like, what would be the biggest reason as to why you say, you know what, like, nah, I'm good, I'm on to the next? Would it be financial? Would it be like emotional, like availability, like sex? Like, what would it be for you?
Emotional availability. Yeah, that's a big one for me. My partner has to be emotionally intelligent and understand like my needs emotionally, because
Okay.
yeah.
You can't be with somebody that's stupid emotionally.
like
All right, now Donnie, as the representative, I'll represent for the polygamous community. Like I
Oh
said,
God.
like I said, I'm like the devil's advocate. I'm the moderator, so my opinions doesn't necessarily matter. Although I will give my opinions at the end of this.
Really
But
sly of you, but
I'm not going.
go ahead and ask your question.
I'm not gonna be Sly Cooper. But for you, would you for you entertain being a polygamous or in your next polygamous relationship? Would you have to be the one that's, let's say, quote unquote, in charge, or would you just be more than happy just being like an option in somebody else's relationship. Like, you know what, like we want to bring you in rather than you be the one to bring in the other parties in. Like,
I rather take a back seat. But that's just me. I like to observe things. So if somebody's like willing to bring me into something, it'll allow me to see and get a better understanding of humans and how they operate together. So yeah, I'd rather take a back seat.
so for you, it'll just be like a case study.
Yeah.
It's something that you could write in like in your next book.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Sean does the same thing, right? Like we sit back and observe, and we write about it.
So for all my men and women out there, basically, you could potentially be a candidate in Donnie's next book.
Don't say that. Don't make it seem like I'm some Taylor Swift. That's just using these people as like studies and tests.
No, you're like the real like Lexi Howard from Euphoria.
About you.
I have no idea who that is.
You're like the real. Oh, you watch Euphoria?
I've seen it. Is she on there?
Yeah. Well, Lexi Howard's a fictional character. You saying like, is she on there?
Oh.
Like, the fuck? Lexi
That
Howard
show is so
Mount
bad.
Appleton.
Like it's so bad.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
That's a story for another day. But before we get out of it, as for my thoughts on whether or not I will partake in a polygamous relationship,
don't hold back. Say what you mean. Say it with your whole chest.
Like I said, I'm going to be running for politics in the future, so I have to.
This guy.
But I will say this: it depends on, because, and Nikita, I tell you plenty of times in our conversation online, like I'm all about communication. So this would be something. This is something that I really want. I would communicate it ahead of time. But at the same time, if I'm communicating with you, that must mean that, okay, like maybe there's something wrong here with our relationship. Because the whole purpose, again, in a polygamous relationship is because you might see that some amazing qualities in the main person that you're with, but they lack in other areas. So what I would do personally is I would talk about that. Because like I said, I'm an open communicator. Like, hey, this is where, this is some areas that I feel like we need to have improved within the relationship. And if you're able to meet those expectations, and like, and even if it's vice versa, it doesn't have to be just my needs. Maybe I'm coming up short in some areas. If we talk about it, okay, if I see something that's doable and reasonable, okay, let's work on our issues together, try to make this work. But let's say, for instance, we're not able to, come to that conclusion per se. The next option for me would be, okay, well, I clearly have feelings for you. I see some value in you, but would you be interested if we was to bring somebody else into this relationship per se? Because I don't want to lose you, right? And that's something that we can agree upon. Okay, let's go with it. It's something that you feel like uncomfortable with. Okay, we don't go that route, and then we'll just break up. And then I'll just go and find, hopefully everything that you lack plus more in the next person. That's the way I view it.
I want to ask a quick question. It's more so on the sexual side of things. If you are with your partner, and let's say that the sex life isn't like, you feel like you guys could be doing more to spice it up, would you bring a third person like into just like the bedroom per se?
So like without polygamy, just like a threesome?
Yeah, just like threesome.
Okay, what conversation comes up first? Toys or the next or another person?
The next person. You guys try toys. Like, you just need to spice up something, and your significant other suggests, not for the idea, just suggests as an idea.
If I'm being honest, then, well, first of all, I'll try to work. If I'm lacking in a particular area, God help me if I ever am. But if I was to the woman that I'm with,
help you who are.
I hope she sees this, bro.
I would try to work on that and get that shit right out of pride for being a man, and me know that I can't satisfy my woman. that will fuck with me. So I
It's okay. It's not so much. I should reword it differently. It's not so much that you can't satisfy her. It's
then why we need to bring somebody else?
you guys been lacking. Like you feel like the sex is dull, or like you guys been lacking in there.
Then that's where role play come in at.
Okay.
Which way?
So Liddell, your stance on poly, when you are adding someone else to the equation, you're adding someone else on an emotional and logical basis. It doesn't have to do with sexual at all.
No, not at all. It's all emotional and logic.
Plus, you're saying that just comes along with it.
Your audio kind of cut out a bit. I couldn't quite hear the second part of that. What would you say?
The sex is like a plus. It just kind of comes with it. Like,
yeah, the sex would be a plus. The sex would be a plus. It's more so on like an emotional and logical basis. Let's say, like I mentioned before, the woman could be like very nurturing. Let's say she has like, I see that she could be like a great mother. That's something I would want. But let's say, for instance, there might be other areas like, like I would really love a woman that's can help and support. That's also business savvy as well. So because
be your friend.
Because sex plays a part in it.
True. That is true. But it might also be a little bit more to that as well. Not so much just a chat, but maybe she's also.
Back to what he's saying. Donnie's saying that why would you bring someone else into like the sexual realm of you guys? Because you said earlier, why would you need another sexual partner? So why?
Is that for me or for Donnie?
That's for you. She's right. She's right.
I mean, because the whole thing, because what Donnie talk about is like in regards to, okay, like you need like to spice up the bedroom per se. I can't speak to that because God unless somebody's lying to me, I never had that problem per se. So I
never had a woman say that we need to spice up our sex life.
No, because I'm always thinking of creative shit.
Well, excuse me, Mr. Editor and Director of True Urban Culture Magazine.
You know what I mean? I never try to have the same experience no more than twice. That's just me personally, But that's why I was like kind of like no to that. But the main thing, also another thing as well. Let's ignore the whole business savvy aspect to it. Maybe it could be something like emotional availability, right? Let's say if it's my partner is great, like we have a great time, like great sex and all that, but she's not as emotionally available as I may like. Or maybe like, like for some of my biggest moments per se of my life, of my career, she's not always there because she's busy like with her own thing. That's something else. But that does not mean that she's not great. Not a great partner, but she's not fully there quite yet. So should I lose out on this amazing person? Just because like she's lacks in other areas, just to give somebody, what I mean? That's what
I get what you're saying. Like, why would you throw away the whole bag just because of one bad apple? I get you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if it's all the way bad, then yeah, give it. But I'm speaking from the perspective that it's not all the way bad.
Polygamous relationship, you're saying? Like that person that you're with, like that person not available to like, be with you in your business prospects and stuff like that. So then you be thinking about adding another person, right? Because that person isn't available.
Yeah, like it all comes down to emotional availability.
That's selfish.
It's not really. It can. All right. It'll be selfish. It'll be selfish on my part if that woman does not have that same choice. It'll be up to me whether or not I would choose to accept that or not. But the choice is given. It's not fully implied on it. Like, oh, like this, I'm not happy, so this is what we're doing. Like, no, because that's when confusion coming into play. Yeah. That's when it has to be communicated ahead of time. Okay, like this is how I'm feeling. We try working on this. It's not happening, but I still see value in you. Do you still see value in me? So how about we try this? If we can't come to that conclusion, okay, then we'll just go our separate ways. Some people are just in our lives for a season and not here for a long period of time, and that's okay as well. As long as you can take something out of the experience, and then that's all good, you know. So that's how I see it.
I just feel that
You toxic, Liddell.
no, because in my perspective, okay, she's not able to fulfill a lot of these things, and you actively are pursuing other women, but you want her qualities. Like, it's like you want your cake and eat it too. Like, why would you keep her for yourself? Well, it depends on if you also want her to date other people. So that's another conversation. But right now, why keep her?
Then it'll be an open relationship, but that's a totally different conversation. But I'm saying that the choice, there's a choice in that. It's not like, oh, like I'm just you know, I'm trying to basically on the side, like I'm like figure okay, like what's next. I'm trying to, like, you know, stack
The
up my
other person
cards.
is allowed to date. I mean, is allowed to bring somebody in too. I think I get what you're saying.
It's like that's like basically that's kind of like what I was saying, I guess, like pointing out earlier, where I was like the issue between like polygamy and like open relationships gets blurred a lot because like the way that people are viewing it. Like when you hear polygamy, technically what you really should be thinking about is almost like a triangle. It should be like a, you know, okay, let's say one guy, two girls. The girl should also like the girl. The girls would like you. You would like both of the girls. Like it should be like that. What happens is that a lot of it is I'm not getting what I want from her, so I'm going to go to this one. These two don't interact. Like this gets now it's a cute angle or whatever the hell you want to call it. It's like it's legit. Like there's no
angle, I
three.
think.
Like, you know, there's no three in it anymore. It's like basically well, I want my, like, kind of like what she said, I want my cake and eat it too kind of effect. For a polygamy relationship to actually work, everybody has to be on the same page. Like,
Everybody has to be aligned.
You got to be attracted to her.
Like, and you see, I get why now you call me selfish, because I did not make that connection. Sean, you explained it so eloquently and beautifully. That's why I love having you on the show. Because what he's saying is correct. You know, not only do I have to like the girl, but you also have to like the girl as well. You know, it all has to be aligned together. Like it can't be like, oh, like I want to bring this girl in a relationship and you know nothing about her. Like, no, we're gonna do everything together. We're gonna go on vacations together. We're gonna go out on dates together. Like that's the way it's going to be. You know, not that, oh, like I had this girl on Monday, you on Tuesday, this girl on Wednesday, this you on Thursday. Like, no, like everything happening all at the same time.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Makes more.
Okay, so those are my thoughts on it. Anybody have any other lasting remarks in regards to this topic? Otherwise, we could just plug ourselves on the way out and get up out of here. So I'll leave the floor open to anybody else. Anybody else have any last words that they want to convey?
I think I said all I need to say. Somebody was calling me, so yeah, I think I said all I need to say.
All right. So let's plug ourselves on the way out. Let everybody know where they can find you on social media, any project that you have going on, all that good shit.
Should we just start from the top down?
Okay. All right, Sean, you can follow me on most social medias, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, whatever new thing arrives at Black Dawn. I'm pretty much cornering the market on that name right now. Besides,
Ken on TikTok, by the way.
I did the same thing with all my social medias that I barely
I
use.
just take a name, I just grab it.
Yeah, I need that.
But you can follow me on TikTok. If you haven't picked up my book, I don't have a copy of it right now, but you can find my poetry book, Interview with the Ego, on Amazon. I'm currently trying to figure out what else I have to do with my life now, because everybody is like, you know, I kind of opened the gate. Now I feel like I got to keep riding the wave. So I got to figure it out.
Second book is always the hardest sometimes.
Wait, they asking for the sequel already?
I've gotten so many questions of just like, what are you doing now? You having talks? You walking? You telling people you doing this? You doing that? What's next? What's your next book? And I'm just saying here, like, it was a contest. It was I didn't
like
think
it was just one.
All right, Radio Donnie.
Yeah,
You're up next.
you can check out my radio show weeknights, 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. Distorted Records with Donnie on Live 95 Autolist.com. You can check out my social media down below. I wiped it clean. I'm working on a new project right now, so
You wiped it clean for what?
I'm working on a new project right now.
Damn. So all that old work is just gone.
Yep, that's life.
Yo,
Hey,
hey, like you said, that's like,
This the way I see it. I don't need, like, I know what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
talk that shit, King. All right, Miss Akeisha. Well, let me just call you by your saying Eliza Bowles. Like let everybody know what you find.
Hi. So you can follow me on Instagram at Eliza Bowles __ or Eliza Bowles official, where I display like my clothes that I make because I'm also a fashion designer, and I would be in a pageant this year, so I'm excited about that. And I also have a Twitter. It's also Eliza Bowles as well.
Yes. And we're gonna have the tags and links to all that in the description box of this video. As for me, you can find me at La Delta Fashion. So I already just post art and shit. Every now and then I'll post myself. I'm kind of like the groundhog, come out every year, just see a shadow. That's kind of like me on social media. I'm also the moderator and the True Culture IG page, so reach out to me for like any event inquiries, interview coverage, anything in that regard. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 29 of TUC Talk. Let us know your thoughts on polygamy. Would you entertain a polygamous relationship? Should polygamy be the new standard of modern day relationships? All that good stuff. I look forward to your feedback and your comments. Please be sure to like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Let everybody know about the TUC Podcast Network. Join the TUC family. And yeah, until next time, guys, we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Peace out.